suppose takes a minute. See if it's actually working or not. I don't know if it's working. Who knows? Let's find out. Do other streamers deal with this, whether you don't know whether you're streaming or not? I think they do. Oh yeah, we're streaming. It's advertising. You guys will figure it out in a second. Um, so in case you haven't figured it out yet, no YMB tonight, and that is probably because we decided to launch a business venture this weekend. I'm gonna play around for a little bit. Sorry, we're gonna make this up as we go along tonight. Here, I'll give you guys a graphic to look at instead of the page. So, by the way, guys, it's Kirk. Hi, how you doing? Uh, we're not gonna stream, or we're not gonna do a YMB tonight, and there's a couple reasons for that. Mainly, I think everyone needs to take a day off. Uh, over the weekend, we launched a. I'm doing this all wrong. Let's start over again, guys. No YMB this week for the third time. Tonight, I'm just going to kind of ramble for about a half hour or so. We'll talk about whatever you guys want. So open up the chat. Let me know. I should have probably popped out the chat, so it's going to get a little weird while we're figuring this out. Whatever you guys want to talk about. You pop in the chat. You ask some questions. You want to talk about some things. If I've got the comic book in Comicology, we'll talk about that. Kind of want to talk about some American gods. That seems like a good idea, too. Let's see. We are supposed to... I'm going to pop out the chat here. Let's do that. We've got a little inception going on here. But we're opening up. We're going to pop out the chat. Pop out the chat. Pop it out. We're going to move this over. There you go. Do. And no, that's not what I wanted to do. Streaming's hard, guys. At least it is for people like me who are still just learning everything they can about it. Yeah, so we'll basically just ramble about whatever you want to talk about tonight. A couple of things I want to go over. There is no YB, fourth time I've mentioned it. Because we all kind of need a little bit of a break. Ian and Savannah and a bunch of other people, they're key people of the site. We launched a comic book website called comicblackbook.com. And it's something that's been long brewing and gestating for a while. This is actually the third time I've tried to do something like this. And the first two times were just mainly kept running into people and personalities that did not necessarily they were giant creeps, and I didn't want to go into business with them. But I've known Ian and Savannah for a very long time, and we finally made this a real deal thing. And this weekend was fucking awesome. We decided to launch on Free Comic Book Day on this past Thursday. Savannah and I went out and hit a couple of shops and did a couple of shots and had a couple of drinks, and it was fantastic. Ian stayed at home and basically managed the site, was putting up content, promoting the site, and was instrumental in making what we did with the website and launching it. It's all because of him. And so I kind of want to throw this one out there right now. This one's going out to Ian tonight. I want to tell you guys about Ian. Ian and I go back a couple of years, and we met on Twitter back when I was doing the Plopcast over for Comic Girl 19. And Ian and I just started chatting on the internets, as you do. And it turned out that we had a lot in common, especially a huge love for indie comics and comic books in general. And he was the one who really kind of kept pushing and being an inspiration to make things happen. So I really need to let you guys know that amongst a couple other people, I always mention Jonathan, our moderator, who was instrumental in making the Discord happen and kind of making the move to Twitch happen. But Ian's always been the one saying, yes, this can happen. Yes, we can do this. Maybe we should try this. And that is something that I don't think anyone has really talked about or mentioned. So all of this is because of Ian's hard work, and he deserves the night off. A lot of it also is Savannah for showing up every Monday night with us and you guys because like she's super busy. And the fact that she shows up and she's a part of this team is absolutely amazing. But everyone needed a night off. We needed a night off. I, on the other hand, basically was like, no, we need to do something. And so I told everyone to take a break and we'll just kind of hang out here and do this tonight. So we're going to talk a couple of comic books. Also, I just kind of, as far as the website goes, we launched and it exceeded my expectations more than you could have ever imagined. Everyone has been very excited and amazing in contributing to the website, writing articles, doing reviews. A couple of mine went up. Jay Spacey, who's also a member in our Discord chat, which you guys should definitely be joining soon, gave up some awesome reviews. Also, again, this is another Ian thing, brought us a contributor by the name of Jamie who wrote an amazing piece about fascism and fandom and all the uproar about Secret Empire, Nick Spencer's Secret Empire. And he knocked it out of the park. It is probably one of the most level-headed, thoroughly researched pieces on currently in the comic zeitgeist that I've ever read. And it brought like 540 individual pairs of eyes to the website on our first fucking day. And it's an amazing read. Agree with it or don't. That's completely up to you. But I like the fact that it is just a voice of reason as far as mob mentality and the Twitterverse is concerned, over how people feel about certain things and what Nick Spencer's trying to do with it. So I really, really encourage people to go check that out. It got retweeted by Nick Spencer. It also got retweeted by editorial staff over at Marvel Comics. It was above and beyond what I could have expected. And so huge props to Jamie. And seriously, you'll probably see more work coming from him. And if anything is like that top tier caliber writing that he brought to the website, I'm really excited. Other things about the website I want to talk about. A lot of guys are kind of like, well, you're doing another comic book website, Kirk. Why is this different? This is different because it is a community-driven website. Community first. That is my saying with this website. Basically, fans get to contribute. Regular writers get to contribute. And they're doing this for free. We have no money right now. We might never have money. This is totally, completely a passion project. Our friend Neil, who is half a world away, literally, is a father of two, and he is writing about his experiences being a hardcore dyed-in-the-wool geek, bringing up his kids and watching his kids kind of fall in love with some of the things that he has grown up with and is trying to bestow upon them. So we've got articles like that happening. We'll definitely try to, we'll talk about the latest trailer. I freaked out over Wonder Woman last night and did a quick little blog post about it. We're not necessarily a news site. I don't think that's necessarily going to be a thing yet. A news site means you have to have money behind you, not have a 9-to-5 job like the rest of us do, and be out there really kind of like have your own offices and that sort of thing. We're not that. We're honestly just doing this out of our backyards or in our basements or our homes and over Skype. So it's amazing what we've accomplished, what everyone has accomplished, to the point where I almost feel a little insignificant in that I'm just taking such a back seat and kind of keep talking to everybody. It's really fucking cool. So, yeah, I don't even feel that involved at this point. But just want to kind of say hello to Darkwing DuckTales, which is one, the awesome screen name, two. Please get your trolling right. I'm a cross between Kevin Smith and Dave Grohl, as I've been told many times before. But you should absolutely subscribe to the site anyways. So yeah, we're just going to hang out. We're going to talk comics tonight, but that is basically the website. The website is community-driven. It's definitely going to be community posts. We'll absolutely try to grow it. Yes, the main goal at this point is trying to get interviews, trying to get previews. We really are focusing on comics as the main thing first. That is huge. We're going to make that happen. And if anything else, because of the motivation that we have from everyone in the YMB fam, the Discord fam, and mainly also Ian, this is just the beginning. This was just our first weekend, and we kind of knocked it out of the park. I'm sorry that I'm not my usual animated self tonight. So that's pretty much where we're at. Also, I think the Twitch channel is going to become our main streaming source as far as videos go. We never really did like edited, produced videos or anything like that. So everything will still be streamed live. I was thinking about that for the last month or so. And we already knew this before going in, but it seems like it's only going to get worse. I think YouTube is pretty much dead at this point. I never actually considered myself a YouTuber. Uh, I like considering myself a streamer. I think that works much better for me. I like to ramble. So streaming works a lot better for us in this format, especially because we get to host roundtable discussions on this channel from other people from the website and other fans, and I really like that aspect of it. Um, that's huge. I think YouTube. I have a YouTube channel. I'll try to change the name of it soon. But that's just basically become a dumping ground for all these videos that we do. I hope we find people over there. I hope we find more of the comic book community, can bring them over here. I think this is more intuitive as far as trying to build a community is concerned. I think YouTube is pretty much a garbage fire when it comes to the comment section, especially when you're trying to take it seriously and you're trying to find other fans that really just want to discuss comic books. God forbid you have an opinion, then the YouTube comment section just turns into fucking Hiroshima. And I think just to give you an idea, we do monetize the videos over on YouTube, and we've been doing that for the last 6 or 7 months, almost a whole year without advertising before that. And with all the new advertising regulations and the strictness, and if I say fuck on a video, YouTube algorithms pick it up and they pull the monetization on the vid. And I don't necessarily think that's really a smart thing. I know YouTube needs to figure out their shit. It's a learning process. It's a giant learning curve. But I think that makes it really hard for creators to be able to do what they love full time and just make an honest buck, but trying to supply content for their fans. So yeah, I'm done with YouTube. I think we're done with YouTube. It's just going to become like an archiving thing for these videos. So hopefully that'll draw people in. And it's pretty much, I didn't expect to talk about any of that tonight. So yeah, I think streaming's the way to go. This website will eventually start. We already have video games working. Ian's already been doing. I think he did Sims one night, and he's also done Minecraft one night. I'm probably going to stream fighting games like the new Marvel vs. Capcom and Injustice 2. You're pretty much just going to tune in and watch me get my ass kicked. But it's going to be hilarious when I'm getting my ass kicked and freaking... I promise to drink during stream while I'm getting my ass kicked at fighting games on this channel. That'd be really cool. So yeah, the website's launched. Twitch is going to be our main thing. It has been for the last few months. We knew that was going to be a thing. I'm also going to say hello to everyone else. Dude, Ox is here tonight. Jay Spacey is here tonight. Mark, how you doing, dude? This is apparently pretty cool. Also, our moderator, Jonathan Uronin. We can play Marvel Heroes 2016 on Mac OS X. Everyone knows Macs are terrible for gaming, but I'm still going to give it a shot anyways. Yeah, also I've got my dog here hanging out tonight. So, I'm going to open up to you guys. I'm going to kind of slowly talk about Free Comic Book Day and how awesome it was, and also you just kind of throw into the chat what you want to talk about. Dude, Savannah and I went out to a fucking beautiful shop in downtown LA for Free Comic Book Day. It's a shop called Quest. Best name ever. Walked in, just gorgeous. I loved that they had just about every single trade that you could have possibly found. They also had just every single weekly that was out. They had more than one clerk. They had like 3 or 4 clerks walking the floor, constantly trying to help you, give you recommendations. They had one section of the shop that was just all drawn in quarterly and first second. I cannot recommend the shop enough. It was amazing. And if you guys know anything about me, I'm actually kind of a comic book shop whore. I'm afraid of commitment, except when it comes to where I get my comic books. So I shop in Earth 2 in both Northridge and Sherman Oaks locations. I've been to House of Secrets every so often. I go to Blast Off here in North Hollywood. And now I'm going to make the trek out to downtown LA for a shop called Quest. And it's a gorgeous shot. We got to meet Tom Neely, who is the author of The Humans, which is the book they were supposed to talk about this week, but we'll actually talk about it next week. And he was super cool, super chill dude. Definitely a guy you want to go grab a beer with. I just said, hey, I'm a really big fan, and then I just walked away. Well, Savannah hung out with them. They did some shopping. I was just like, hi, bye, okay, and just took off. So that was a lot of fun. I got beard hair in me. Sweet. That was wow. I need a trim after this, guys. Look at that. I've got evil Captain Kirk going. I'm definitely Mirror Universe Captain Kirk right now. So that was cool. We also hit Blast Off and went to go see my friend Harley over there. They were packed. It's a smaller shop, but equally beautiful. It's in the Take two. North Hollywood Arts District, the NoHo Arts District. I've been going there for a while. Smaller selection of weeklies, but they still have the prime titles. They also really emphasize indie comics, which is why I go there a lot. Also, their staff is incredibly knowledgeable, especially Harley. You can go in there and just talk like, I like sci-fi, and she'll just find you all the sci-fi stuff. And they had some pretty cool, like Mark Waid was their signing. They also had Scott Tipton, who did the... I should probably get that right now. I will show off what I got for Free Comic Book Day. Oh God, I'm getting old. They had Scott Tipton, the Tipton clan. They did the Star Trek Broken Mirror Free Comic Book Day, the new series, which this thing's hilarious. I don't know if you guys can see that, but just everyone is super buff in the Mirror Universe and Next Generation. Just like, it's just, we are sultry and sexy and we'll stab you in the back. I thought it was pretty cool. So we did that. Free Comic Book Day was pretty dope. Kind of show off some of the stuff I got. It's kind of like a haul video. I hate doing haul videos, so you know how I feel about that, but here we go. I got a bunch of free comics. We did that. Also, I picked up Tom Neely's The Blot. This is the first thing he ever did. So I'm really excited to read that. What else do we get? I was really stoked about this. This was over at, because they were having everything was on sale. Everything was on sale! Madman and the Atomics. I'm going to get fucking down with this book. Freaking Mike Allred. Oh, I can't wait to read this all day. What else? Oh, this is really fucking cool, guys. Scene of the Crime. Brubaker, Phillips. 10 years out of print, finally reprinted, and you better believe it, hard copy. Sorry, Ian, it's the rich person's copy. I'm so fucking excited to read this thing, especially if you're a fan of like Criminal and Velvet and Killer Be Killed. Yes, this is reprinted. This is something they did like, this is I think kind of like the beginning of what these two are going to start doing with as far as their noir stars. It's fucking badass. And then this was really cool. Savannah actually picked up this for me, and then I ended up getting drinks later. But this is called Two Sisters, and it is out by Dark Horse Comics. This baby is going to be a fucking read. And it's by Matt Kent, and I'm really stoked about that. And from what I'm gathered from the first few pages, dude, it's espionage in World War II. Done. And I just like the vibe of this. I like this. You know me, guys. When it comes to I'm going the wrong way. Figure it out, Kirk. And me. I like simple layouts. I love the art on this. I love the color palette is consistent all the way through. I'm very excited to read this. This looks beautiful, and it's huge. It's huge. And it's Matt Kent, so I'm excited to see what a Matt Kent story looks like. That's World War II espionage. And then I got a lot of other comics. Oh, and also Tom Neely, because I started collecting these fucking things. I don't know if you guys can see it. I got the, it's on my Instagram. I got the, it's so ridiculous. I got the Henry Rollins and Glenn Danzig Forever pin from the comic story that he did, which I couldn't find anywhere. So that's going to turn a lot of heads when people take a really close look at it. Yeah. So that's pretty much it. We launched. It was fucking amazing. I can't thank you guys enough for supporting the website, for supporting Free Comic Book Day. I hope you guys went out, got all the free comic books, and also just goddamn bought a bunch of other stuff. Because a lot of people don't realize comic shops and retailers actually have to pay for the free comic books that they're going to give away for free. The whole point is to get people into the shops and buying stuff. So that's why there was a lot of sales and that sort of thing that you would see at a lot of these other shops. But hopefully you guys went out and supported them, brought people who wouldn't normally read comic books. They can get a taste of that fucking vibe when you've got so many people out there and all these fans and a community. It was kind of really infectious, especially over at Blastoff because it was so busy. You just got in line, and as the line went around the shop, you just kind of picked what you wanted. And it was really fucking cool. So, yeah, that was Free Comic Book Day. It was awesome. We decided to become business peoples. We did a business. Yeah, what do you guys want to talk about tonight? You wanna do some comics? Want to do some comic books? Let's do some comic books. We'll talk about a couple of things that came out this week. Actually, you know what we're gonna really do? We're gonna talk about The Button. Part 3 of The Button came out by DC Comics, issue 22 of Batman. This was an emotionally fueled episode, issue, whatever you want to call it. Again, I keep going back to the fact that I'm very surprised that they are bringing Flashpoint into this. I was kind of thought they were going to just put Flashpoint completely behind them and really only talk about it when Manhattan showed up. I still think it's brave. I still think it's very brave with how great Rebirth has been and how awesome all the titles have been. I almost kind of thought, like, well, guys, do you even really need to kind of go back and explain why the universe has changed yet again from the New 52? And, it's something they're going to push forward with, and it's the big new event that's going to happen with the Rebirth process. And Jeff Johns is behind it. But more than anything else are the guys who are working on this, especially Tom King. I loved issue 21 of Batman when they first did the first part of this. I did a little video about that. It's over on YouTube. I'll bring it over here to Twitch so that everyone can get caught up. I loved that it was the 3x3 panel. It was very, very Watchmen. The colors were Watchmen. The art was Watchmen. The pacing was Watchmen. It was very much an ode to Watchmen and bringing in all those characters into the DCU. Again, I'm going to reserve judgment. I think they might actually pull this off. If you're one of those people who is really angry that they're going to pull Watchmen characters in the new DC universe, I understand your frustration. I absolutely do. I also think it's not going to change the Watchmen story, and it still stands alone, and you will always have it. Don't worry, it's not going anywhere. Other things that I really did love about that issue, especially because with the 3x3 panel, Tom King really works with that comic book format, especially when he did his Omega Man series, which is stellar. Please go check out Omega Man. It got canceled halfway through, and the fans went apeshit, so they actually let him finish the series. That's also 3x3 paneling. And the art choices that they make in that is, it'll be like panel 1 a scene, panel 2 a scene, panel 3 a scene, and then panels 4 through 6 would still be broken up in 6 pieces, but they would make up a larger picture. And it was so amazing. That said, going into these last 2 parts before we get part 4 later this week, I'm very frustrated that they got away from that format. I thought that format worked great, and it was something that took me by surprise. And now that we're going between Flash and Batman, the second part with the Flash did not follow that format, and I thought it weakened the story. Even though we did get the cosmic treadmill, is a real thing, by the way, and kind of the catalyst for this. So Flash gets the cosmic treadmill, which, by the way, I had to do some research on. Not a Jack Kirby invention, like I've heard people say it is. Also, one of the other things about the cosmic treadmill is that it's never been explained. There's no real origin story for where it came from. And if you're asking yourself what the cosmic treadmill is, and it's literally that. It's a treadmill with like a little onboard computer, and then Flash runs on it, and then he's able to travel through time. And in this case, through different realities and timelines. Comic books! So that was a thing. The cosmic treadmill actually dumps them into Flashpoint. in part 3 of Batman Return or Batman Rebirth, and it's a very, very powerful issue because Bruce actually comes face to face with his dad, who became the Batman of Flashpoint. And it's very emotional, and it's kind of weird because it's almost like Bruce gets his wish for his dad to be back, but unfortunately, it's also a very broken version of his father, who had to watch his son and wife die and took up the mantle of being Batman, who also rocks twin 45 guns and makes a lot of the Wayne fortune now off of like gambling and casinos. So it's a very dark version of who Bruce's father is. So it's kind of this weird, bittersweet uh, story. So at some point you're reading it, and you're very much thinking, "Oh my God, Bruce got his wish back." But everything you know about this Batman, especially if you did read the Flashpoint story, is that it's a dark, it's a mirror universe version of Bruce's father had he gotten older, and it's a powerful issue, and you kind of you don't get what you want, you get what you need out of the story, and it's very hard to watch. Basically, it's Thomas Wayne's Batcave getting infiltrated by Aquaman and those forces that want to take out Earth people, the land people, I should say. And he's getting ready to do a suicide mission, and he basically does complete his mission, but while also saving Bruce and the Flash and sending them back into the time stream, along with the cosmic treadmill, is a thing I'm going to say a lot in this video and not believe that I'm saying it. Cosmic treadmill. And it's a great issue. Again, I feel that it's a little cheapened that the creative teams did not stick with the 3x3 format. I wish they had done that all the way through. That would have been really powerful for telling the story. I could be wrong going into the Flash. We don't know what part 4 looks like yet. Also, whatever this leads into a bigger event, you never know. They might do that. They might go back to the Watchmen, Tom King, Alan Moore 3x3 paneling. I just personally think it's a great way to tell a story in a comic. Especially just, it's almost like a cadence. It's almost like waltz. It's, waltzes are 3/4, so it's 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. I hope that made some sense for comic nerds out there. But that's how I kind of read those panels in comics when they go 3x3. So yeah, it's a very powerful issue. Especially there was this amazing thing that happens at the end where Thomas looks over at his son and goes, "Just do me one big favor." Sorry, spoilers, guys. Turn away now if you didn't read this issue yet. Basically looks at his son and goes, "Just do me this one favor. Give up being Batman. You don't need to live this life. I'm proud of you of whatever you do. Just go ahead and let it go." Which I think is really powerful because it's coming from a point of view of a man who probably does not like being Batman. I don't think Thomas Wayne is happy to be Batman. I think he's a very miserable person that he made that choice to take up that lifestyle. In Bruce's case, I think he kind of enjoys it a little bit. It's something that he thinks Batman's a necessity, but the way that they've written him in Rebirth, he probably would not have it any other way. But very interesting to see where that goes. I'm really excited for part 4 this week. Let's see. I'm going to go into the chat really quickly. I think Hulk Hoquin, Berserk Ox, and someone else here. Travis were talking about making their own comic books. I think that's really cool. Let's see. Travis says he's trying to think of a way to start up his own web series, comic web series. Sadly, however, I'm not good as a writer on my own. Also, I can't draw very well, so it is possible to dictate to a person that can write for that aspect. Yes, absolutely. And Ox answers, "Hey, there are a ton of comic forums that you can find writers and artists to help with projects. Usually not for free, so it might be easier to start on your own and building those muscles on your own." And I think Ox really knocked on something there that's really good. If you've never done anything before in your life and you want to do it, you're going to suck at it. You're going to suck. But you're going to get better. And Ox is absolutely right. It is like a muscle. I'm not good with this. But if you watch videos that I was in from like 2 years ago, I've gotten a little bit better. And I will probably keep doing this. I don't think I'm a natural talking to the internet. but I definitely enjoy it, and I think I'm getting a lot better. I'm also trying to stop saying ums and yas and becauses and us. I'm also trying to be very, very careful about when I use the word literally. But I mean, I think you just practice at it. God, I'm not joking, dude. Travis, this is the third time I've tried to start my own comic book website. It took 3 times. The first two failed drastically in grand ways. Uh, but here I am now, and I've found good, positive people that are supporting me and that I can lean on to make this happen. And I think that's exactly what comic books are also all about. I think you can definitely find people that are going to support you and work with you. And I always say this, the reason I love comic books is that I do genuinely, with all my heart, believe that they are the greatest collaborative art form in the world. Yes, even more so than film. I love that it's art, and I love that it's group art, and I think that that's also why it feeds so much into why my passion for Comic Black Book and YMB and everything that we're starting up, is community driven. I think you come together as a group and you're much stronger that way. So that's huge. And Travis, I think you should absolutely keep trying out those forums. Try writing some stories your own. Here's the good part: you write a story, it's not drawn yet, but you script it out, and then you kind of tuck it away. And then later on, you go back to it and you get new ideas and you fix things. Nothing's set in stone or ink, man. Like, come up with the ideas and then keep working on it. I've got a story that I've been working on for 3 years that I pull out and it sucks and I change something and I put it away for a little bit. But one day, I'll find the right artist that I want for it and we'll make it, and it'll suck, but at least I did it and kind of birthed it. And that'll be like me doing the equivalent of one pull-up because I can't even do pull-ups. But yeah, I think that's really, really cool. Let's see. What else do we have here, dude? Yeah, Ox is saying, yeah, sucking at something is the first step to getting better. I also really learned that from Adventure Time. Suck it. Uh, let's see. Marushi says Batman is good, but I like one price. I think that's a typo, or I just don't know how to read. I'll figure it out. Also, everyone keeps saying, dude, oh, yes, Jonathan has a really good tip. Watch Strip Panel Naked on YouTube if you want to see examples of comic strips. Strip Panel Naked is probably one of my favorite YouTube channels, and he breaks down comic books and sequential art. It's fucking cool. And he also, when he does the breakdowns, you can kind of see where the relationship with writer and artist starts and ends and how it works. So that's why I highly suggest it. Strip Panel Naked. Go watch all those videos. Guys, I am so tired. I did 10 hours today. I needed the overtime. Yeah, go do that. So that's kind of cool. Maybe I should have actually shown off some of the comic. Guys, way to go. Way to go, douchebag. Supposed to be streaming and talking about stuff. By the way, I actually really do enjoy, I've gone digital at the beginning of the year. And I do enjoy going digital. Especially in cases that's great. That art is so beautiful in this. I've really also enjoyed Bruce and the Flash teaming up, because Bruce and Barry, they're by nature they're both detectives. So when you watch two detectives get together and in their own really subversive, subtle way are being nerdy detectives together, but without trying to like nerd out too much in front of each other, but definitely out nerd each other, it's really fun. It's really fucking cool. So yeah, again, this is I was really bummed about how these layouts were, but this art was fantastic. I think that's also particularly other reasons why I really like digital. Guys, forgive me. I know it doesn't work for everyone. I love guided views. I think it works better cinematically. So this is a really cool, powerful scene of older Bruce or older Thomas Wayne in his costume, and I really do love, especially with guided views. Bam, there's the gun. You know Batman's totally about guns, but which Batman? And then the very next scene, you automatically know that's Bruce saying, fuck you, no, this is not how we do it. That is why I love comic books right there. I like that it doesn't like spell everything out for you, that your mind naturally fills in the gaps. But again, things like this where, by the way, guys, Cosmic Treadmill. That's a thing. Uh, why I like guided views. That is such a powerful scene. Uh, and to go from that first scene where they're kind of holding each other and supporting each other to this where they're face to face. Also, a lot of fun. Someone I pointed this out to someone that thought, "Oh, that's really cool." Is that I like that they depict Thomas as still taller. Dad's still taller. Dad is still large and in charge, and I think that definitely shows like a certain power play as far as like the two characters work in this scene. Bruce definitely being a kid. Again, cosmic treadmill, which isn't explained. But overall, really powerful issue. Really powerful. Let's see. No one's ever going to watch this again. But here it is. This is it. This is the part. Sorry, guys. Don't be Batman. Find happiness, please. You don't have to do this. Don't do it for me. Don't do it for your mother. So, yep. Very bittersweet. I'm not necessarily sure if this is the reunion that Bruce always wanted, but at least he got a reunion. I find that so powerful that that's the way they decided to go with this. So there we go. Where should there's my chat. I'm trying to look for it all over the place. Yahtzee. Meh. Meh. Where are we here? What does the chat have to say? Let's see. Solving crimes, bro fist. You guys are hilarious. Let's see. Everyone's talking about how much Bob Kane was a dick. Yeah, it's kind of true. The other two guys, Bill Finger, did most of the work. What else do you guys want me to talk about? Seriously, let's hop in there. Let's make it like getting you guys caught up on Batman before we see how the button's going to end. Do you think we're going to see Dr. Manhattan at the end of this next piece? They keep teasing it. You know, I don't know if that's going to happen. What else? Oh my God, I did read Youngblood. Can we talk about Youngblood? Guys, we're going to talk about Youngblood. We are so going to talk about Youngblood. Let's see. This is going to take a second. This is why we're streaming. We have no idea what we're doing. Let's see. Where did I put Youngblood? Hey, we'll talk about Papergirls. We'll talk about Youngblood and Papergirls. Oh, those were the things I wanted to talk about. In progress. Let's see. Recently purchased. Unread. No. Fuck off. I read it all. Where did Youngblood go, guys? He said, very embarrassed. I have to look it up, aren't I? What do you guys... How was your day? How was everything? This is the most boring stream ever. He's just talking about comic books. Yeah, that's what we fucking do. Youngblood series. Read. Yahtzee, guys. So I did read Youngblood. I hate myself. Let's just start there again. Okay, so Youngblood was a comic book by Rob Liefeld. It was one of his premier creations when Image started over again, when they all jumped ship from Image Comics. And guys, if you don't know how Image Comics started, it's a very interesting, you wouldn't expect it story. Basically, a bunch of artists from DC and Marvel, especially Marvel, and we're talking like Jim Lee, Rob Liefeld, Mark Silvestri, Eric Larson. I'm going to forget some other names there. Basically all felt like they were not getting paid a fair wage. And a lot of these guys were hot shots. They were helping bring comics back. Like during the 90s, comics blew up, and then they also crashed and burned horribly. But these guys all jumped ship from like stable paying jobs that felt like they weren't necessarily getting their fair share, and started their own company called Image Comics. And that's how Image started, dude. So you had a bunch of artists who were creating things that they owned, that they get to keep the rights to, which is basically how Image still goes today. That's why you've got like creators like Remender and Aaron and Charles Soule now doing stuff there, and Greg Rucka And dude, these guys are making their own stuff, and then they get to keep all the rights to it, and it's fucking awesome. Yeah, dude. Chip Marlowe, Sean says that it wasn't Youngblood. It wasn't Youngblood Image's first title. I believe it was. Followed by Brigade and Bloodstrike. Oh, there was also Wetworks, so that kept getting delayed. Guys, I could talk a lot about Image. '90s Image was so horrible. Uh, but so Liefeld was coming off of the success of X-Force. He basically recreated the X-Men to be like this weird commando unit hit squad. And you had Cable, and you had Domino, and you had a bunch of other people no one quite remembers. Um, so Youngblood was its premier team, and here's the problem: you had a bunch of artists who didn't necessarily remember to bring writers along with them. So you had all these comic books that had fucking stellar, totally killer art that was like just being popularized like massively in the 90s. And the stories were very and they also kind of kept falling behind in deadlines. So sometimes the comics would start to suffer. Like Liefeld's art at the time was pretty cool, but it would start to suffer because it was trying to hit the deadlines. Also, like all the comics were being done without backgrounds, just because they didn't have time to put the detail into that. And Youngblood was his new like, forget X-Force, we've got Youngblood. And he had characters like Badrock, Shaft, Vogue. Who else am I going to remember in there? Oh, who was Patriot? Was it Patriot? Who was like the cyborg dude? Oh, yes, Yoronan's absolutely right. The documentary The Image Revolution is a great watch. It's also being reissued soon. Guys, go find that. Uh, um, they did this super team, and it kind of fell apart. A lot of people don't even necessarily remember what happened to Youngblood afterwards. But, like, at one point, Alan Moore was a writer for Image Comics, and he did stuff like Supreme and Youngblood and Wildcats. So it was a very strange time for 90s comics. So strange. But Alan Moore wrote Youngblood titles. That's weird. But they decided to bring these guys, Chad Bowers and Jim Toe, decided to do a Youngblood series. And here we go. The art is a little bit more refined. It definitely falls more in line with what Image is kind of known for right now. I like the premise. There's basically an app that's a lot like Uber, but for superheroes. So you need a job done, or you need saving, or you think someone needs to be saving, or you report a crime. It goes to this app that I'm going to forget the name of. What was it called, guys? You guys can help me out here. It was called Help, like Yelp, but it was like Uber and Yelp, but for superheroes. And people would pick up jobs from this app and kind of like hop into action. One of the heroes has gone missing after taking one of these missions from the website, and we have another young vigilante hero on the search forum, kind of doing like the whole pounding the pavement, hitting the streets and asking guys like, "Well, where is he?" That sort of thing that happens in all the stories. While that's happening, meanwhile, we find out, and by the way, the story is taking place 10 years after the original Youngblood, that Shaft is in jail, and we're not necessarily sure for what. Also, is it Patriot? Again, I'm going to keep screwing this up. Is it Patriot, the cyber guy? He's president of the United States. And also, Bedrock makes an appearance. And Shaft and Bedrock, I guess, are also in jail too, but they're a package deal. And whenever like some sort of huge problem comes up, the government has worked out a deal with Shaft that they are allowed to let him out of prison if he does the job for them. Again, not necessarily a foreign idea in comics, or in most action films whatsoever. But it's kind of interesting to see that this is the place that a lot of these old Youngblood characters are in. Also, Badrock is kind of suffering from some sort of disease, and it's being held together by like cybernetics. It's very, very strange. And it's what is it? Is it here we go? Is it Vogue, First Lady? Die Hard. His name was Die Hard. Guys, where were you in the chat trying to help me out with that? It's supposed to be Die Hard. He's president now. And when I was reading it, it's a little shell-shocked. Like, it's not Liefeld art. It's these characters that I kind of grew up with. I'm 37. The last time I bought a Youngblood comic when I was like 16. So it's so strange. I'm showing off this work here for you right now. Uh, the art reminds me more of Invincible by Robert Kirkman than it does like the extreme X-Men art of the 90s. But I'm going to give it a couple of issues. I think it's a pretty cool premise, and I think a lot of it is also just out of sheer curiosity to see what these writers decided to do with these characters and where to put them 10 years later in the timeline. Um, yeah, I think morbid curiosity is what's got me at this one. But like I said, it's Youngblood, but it's also very much Invincible. That's what the art reminds me of. So yeah, and also there's a backup story by, you guessed it, hold on, Rob Liefeld. If that isn't fucking Rob Liefeld art, guys, I don't know what to tell you. I'm trying to find, yeah, there you go. You got 4 pages. You always got the cigar. So, who has an opinion about Rob Liefeld? I always give Rob Liefeld the benefit of the doubt because he did create some amazing characters with his tenure at Marvel. I also think he made less memorable characters over at Image. I think they were mostly shock value before they were, characters that were going to have heritage or like be, have any stamina as far as, being legacy characters. I also forget that Rob Liefeld at one point was making Hand Over Fist and was only 18 years old when he decided to jump ship and start his own studio over at Image Comics. So I cannot even begin to understand the pressure that young man was under and trying to produce his own product and also be a boss to a group of guys who were probably all a little bit older than him and just were getting paid a lot of money to make comic books, and like guys were like buying Lambos and stuff. Go watch the Image Revolution. Jonathan's right. It's fantastic. That said, I'm also one of those people that feels like Rob Liefeld's art never advanced or grew up from that period. I think his art had stagnated at some point, and I just haven't seen any growth or evolution in who Rob Liefeld, the comic book artist, is. Rob Liefeld, the creator and person who makes comic books, is actually a very enjoyable person. Even though sometimes like I have to unfollow him on Twitter because blah, 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 blah. He just is very impulsive. But I'm very, very I'm wary of Rob Liefeld. I wish I would like to see I think his art could go next level. Like even Jim Lee at some point turned a corner, and even though he was a hot shot, his art turned a corner at some point and became a little bit more refined and even found his voice a little bit more. So a lot of you guys have opinions too. I think that's pretty cool. Yeah, I think a couple people kind of feel like he's hit a wall as far as art goes. But he gave us Image, and it's really hard to negate that. It's really hard to argue the fact that this guy was probably the reason why Image is my favorite comic book publisher today, next to Drawn Quarterly and First Second. So thank you, Rob Liefeld? ? Let's see. I love that he throws in there that he created the Image name and logo. That was a huge thing. Also, I'm getting a little tired of him talking about how much he created Deadpool. Can we talk about Deadpool first? Hey, it's my stream tonight. I'm just gonna fucking ramble a little bit, guys. Deadpool's name is Wade Wilson, which sounds exactly like every single comic book character out there. And on top of that, Deadpool's costume is directly Spider-Man's costume. And I realize in the comics they make like a bunch of jokes about how Deadpool feels like, oh no, it's an homage. And he likes to say straight to Peter's face, oh no, it's an homage. But, dude, yeah, his name is Wade Wilson. And there's literally Spider-Man and Deathstroke. You take their fucking costumes and put them together. You take those two characters and put them together. And that's how he came up with Deadpool. It's Slade Wilson and Peter Parker. And he's an assassin. Guys, that's Deadpool. And then Deadpool did a lot of things to comic books I'm not cool with. Like, I understand Deadpool's really exciting for a lot of you guys, but also I really want you to go back and go check out Gail Simone's run of Deadpool. That's my favorite Deadpool. Like, when they just realized that the series was going to get canceled and they brought Gail Simone on to see what she could do, and it was fucking off the wall bonkers because Gail Simone is also off the wall bonkers. If you're not following her on Twitter, that is a crime. You should be. Uh, it was just that's the Deadpool I loved. Uh, Ox, I'm not going to repeat that on. No, no, I'm not repeating that. I'm not repeating that. But anyways, uh, but oh, Sean's got a point. Really though, who isn't a ripoff of Peter Parker at this point? I love Miss Marvel. I love Kamala Khan, but she's very much the new Peter Parker of the Marvel universe. Like, mirrors those issues that young Peter grew up with, and that's where that character was stemmed from. Uh, let's see. Hulk Hoquin says Rob is for sure a dick. Sometimes, parentheses, most of the time. Uh, yeah. Mods can't time out mods. Oh god, my mods are quibbling right now. Uh, so yeah, that was a thing, guys. Rob Liefeld gave us Deadpool. Um, oh, I did see something really cool. Again, I feel like I'm playing devil's advocate with Rob Liefeld tonight. Uh, Someone interviewed him. I'm going to forget, so forgive me that I can't credit the person properly. But someone finally asked him about what's up with all the fucking patches and pockets and pouches that he drew into all his characters. And he had the most simple, realistic answer. He got the idea from SWAT teams. And it makes perfect sense to me now. If you see like any like NYPD and LAPD SWAT teams have pouches literally everywhere built into their uniforms. And my mind kind of exploded because at this point I realized that kind of made a lot of sense, especially if you're making like these combative like Arsenal characters. Yeah, didn't see that coming. Let's see. So I don't think I can defend Rob Liefeld anymore tonight, guys. That took a lot out of me. Because all you have to do is show me a picture of big-breasted Captain America, and it all comes flooding back to me. Let's see. What else do you guys want to talk about? Oh no, it froze. There we go. Uh, let's see. If you run out of room on cable and Marvel Heroes, he says, even I don't have enough pouches for that. Jesus Christ. Good to know, guys. Let's see. Let's exit the reader. Oh, we were going to talk Paper Girls next. How about we talk Paper Girls? That I will bring up in a moment. Thank you. Let's see. Let's go to my books. Paper Girls was really good this week. Paper Girls, for once, did not make me want to pull my hair out. Let's see where we are. Boom. Paper Girls. Brian K. Vaughan. Cliff Chang. I'm going to screw up his name every time. Cliff Chang. Chiang. Sorry. So I have no idea where we are in time. Oh, that's right. We jumped back like 10,000 years because I had to look up a word on Wikipedia in the last issue. First of all the art still fucking rocks. The girls know that they're in the past. They've run into this character and her little baby. And there's some stuff I'm going to skim over because this issue does get pretty harsh with what this poor girl's situation is in life. But this child that she has apparently could be the father of one of these three other men that are chasing after her right now. They're also like Neanderthal, cavemanish. And if you just kind of go there, like I think it's really brave. And on top of that, it's definitely a conversation that needs to be had about men and how they feel entitled to certain things, especially like babies and women and these supposed families, and Brian K. Vaughan takes that conversation to the next fucking level in this issue, and does it very, oh by the way, very casually within the dialogue of this story. Um, and I really kind of challenge you guys to read it for yourself, definitely for sure. Uh, because all three of these men feel that the child is this kid's or is theirs from this girl who's like not even 13 or 14. So that is a very tough thing to talk about. Also, we have our scientist from the way, way, way future who is now slowly starting to realize it might not be the first time that they've visited this past because all these indigenous humans, in whatever stage of evolution they're in, have access to a lot of the technology, and on top of that, have also kind of figured out how some of the technology works. Like they've figured out how the translator works. They've also kind of figured out that these tears in time could be disastrous or could like potentially hurt or kill people. So they're not dumb Neanderthals as much as we'd like to take them for granted as. They are definitely a threat and cognitive and actually act out as real a real risk as far as antagonists go. And we're not even sure if they're antagonists. Like they really honestly could just feel like they're not doing the wrong thing because this is just their lifestyle. You know, that's their culture. I hope I'm saying that right. But we did finally get some answers in this issue, and that was amazing because this is, what, issue 14 now? So for the first 13, we literally had no idea what the fuck was going on except for when an event happened in the past and then it revisits later in the future. It was the only time we kind of knew what was going on, except we also know time travel. But we're not necessarily sure where any of these characters originally originated from, at what point in time they've come and for what reasons. And also, again, we're facing this weird, strange concept of are we kind of like in this weird like infinity loop where these things have happened before and they're going to happen again, and so every action that these characters make essentially becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy in the story. So does it make a difference that they're going to try to you know change how things are going? So let's see. What else is previous? Oh, by the way, Jonathan just posted up. He actually has a cipher for all the translations in this story, which I think is really fucking cool. But you know, that's all that's kind of going on. So this was definitely a huge issue, guys. It kind of sets up the next arc, I think, very nicely. I think we'll start getting some more answers as they come. That is beautiful. Thank you, guys. But like again, this is one of those moments where earlier in the series, this girl was implored to like steal these kind of booster sneakers, and she didn't understand why. And we actually fast forward 3, 4, 5 episodes later in the series, and they end up inevitably saving her life, which again raises questions. How do we know this was going to happen? Did it already happen? Will it happen again? How do we break the cycle? I think that's what Papergirls is essentially going to be about. Fighting the future in a certain sense. So also we have the weird hentai porn cube cosmic thingy that shows you all and everything. Again, we've got the Apple logo showing up everywhere, which might only be not as far in the future as we originally thought, from a couple of the clues that were dropped in this issue. So this is really, it's just great. Fucking love this. I love this system that they have like figured out. And a great ending so far. This is just a goddamn awesome cliffhanger on that one. So yeah, Papergirls. What did you guys think about Papergirls? Jay Spacey says BKV is the king of meandering, but he still gets you showing up every new issue. It's ridiculous. I don't know how he does it. But yeah, it's the hentai porn cube. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So we talked about a couple comic books tonight. Also, you guys should be watching American Gods. Even though the first 2 episodes have been nothing but set up before, I could easily watch that show over and over again just for the actors that they've casted as the gods, old and new, in the series. You can just give me entire episodes of the gods just acting like gods. Absolutely watch it. I'm definitely getting I think the new gods are definitely going to have a Wiccan and divine influence. I'm starting to get that after I met Technology in episode 1. So you should be checking out American Gods. Also, the cool part, if you're like me and super poor, I just got the Stars app, and the episodes come out early in the morning that they're supposed to be released. So you don't have to wait until they show it like 9 or 10 o'clock at night on the cable show. So you should definitely be doing that.